Hello everybody, this is Paul with CDA. We're going to go ahead and get started with the Samsung GSPN importer that CDA software has. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show a split screen. I'm going to show you a picture of the GSPN portal and where we want to make sure you grab the correct Excel file to download. So you'll notice you're going to go into the portal. You'll see an area called Service Tracking. And then when you look a little bit further, you'll see it highlighted on the picture that we have. It says Service Order Excel Download. So that's the area you want to click and you want to download. So what we're going to do is I'm now going to show you what that file looks like when you download it. So what we've done, we've downloaded the file, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and double click it in real time for our demo. And so now the file is going to go ahead, the file is going to open. And what's going to happen is you're going to get the same prompt that I'm going to get. You're just going to go ahead and say yes. And then what I did is I went ahead and I colorized this. I made it look nice for our demo. And so what you're going to notice is you're going to see all your files listed below, and it's going to have all the pertinent information that you're used to seeing, along with comments and everything else. And now what you're going to do is you're going to save it as a CSV file. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. All you're going to do is you're just going to go to the File menu, you're going to File, and then what you're going to do is you're going to say Save As, and then what you're going to do, you're going to save it to the default location. You're going to change the file type to a CSV. So we changed our file type to a CSV, and then what we're going to do is we're simply going to rename it CSV. And so now what happens is we're going to go ahead, we're going to click Save, and then we're going to go ahead and import that file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Save, and then we're going to open up the file in CDA. So here we are, we're right back in CDA. We just saved our file as a CSV, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Work Orders, and then we're going to do File Import into Samsung. But before we get started, I want to explain to you one important feature that we're going to do. So if I click here and I say Open Jobs Log, the reason why we created this is that when you do imports from, let's just say, Service Bench, Service Power, you can filter out those tickets that came in. This is a demo, so this is extremely populated. In your organization, it won't be so populated. You can also find out all the jobs that are assigned to technicians, but more importantly, we can show you the jobs that were imported from Samsung. So if I type in Samsung, you'll notice if I double click, I'll have no entries because this is a demo. But what I want to do is I want to show you how to get this Samsung in there, because if you don't have Samsung in here, when we do the import, there'll be nothing to show you. So let's go ahead and show you how that's done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Utilities menu. I'm going to go to Employees. I'm going to say Add Edit Employee Table. And now again, you will not have the Samsung user in here. So what you're going to do is you're going to click Add, and then you're going to add Samsung. So what I'm going to do, because this is a demo, I'm going to show it to you. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to type in Samsung. But again, you will not have this user, so you'll say Add. Then what you're going to do, you're going to say Add Samsung. You're going to give it a last name of Samsung. And then the most important thing is you're going to click Active Employee. Now you will not be charged for this user because we're not going to make it a desktop user and we're not going to make it a mobile user. What we're doing is we're creating a classification so that when we do the import, it will auto-assign it to Samsung so you can easily find those tickets, and we're going to make sure it's active. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to save and exit. Now I'm going to go back to the importer. So I'm going to go Work Orders. I'm going to say Import GSPN Samsung Dispatches. Now because I created an employee that's active, they're going to show up in the Open Jobs log, which is right there. So now I'm going to say Samsung Import. And now remember, we created that CSV file, and that's what we're going to import. But before we do, I just want to show you this little eye. And this really explains everything that I'm explaining to you. So you could always click on the eye and explain to your employees how to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and close that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Begin. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to where my file is. And lo and behold, there's my CSV. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and import it. And then you'll notice it says, hey, I'm going to import 2 new jobs. Now, if there were jobs that had any type of updates or any type of changes, we would have also have shown you what updates there were. But this is a demo, and so I just wanted to show you 2 files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say, okay. And after I say okay, I'm going to go ahead and click done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open jobs log. And now what we're going to do for our demo, we're just going to type in Samsung. And so what we've done is we said, hey, we just did an import, but now we want to see all those new tickets that we imported from GSPN Samsung. So we have it set to Samsung. All we're going to do is hit submit. And lo and behold, there are those 2 tickets that we just imported. Now what I'm going to do just for our demo is we're just going to take a look at one of them to see what we see. So we see our claim is open. Now let's go ahead and look around. So we see we have all the pertinent information. We have information here with the phone number. We have our ticket number. It came in as Samsung. And then here we go. So it came in the primary tech as Samsung. Now when we get it on the schedule, that will change. We see we have the schedule date. We have all the pertinent information over here. And we see it came over as warranty coverage. Now here's a couple of key areas that will be important to you, is that this was stamped in unit status. So we have a stamp of what we did. So we did that for you, which is a great audit. And then more importantly, let's go ahead and look at comments. So in comments, we see that all the comments that were in GSPN were actually imported as well. Now this was a demo. GSPN, they tend to have paragraphs and paragraphs of information, and I didn't want to show that in our demo, so I just truncated that. The agent said, hey, it will not work. But I did want you to know that any of the important notes that are in GSPN will come. They'll be date and time stamped, and then more importantly, in unit status, you're going to know the date and time that that information was imported. And so you have all of that as a great timestamp of what has happened. And so that will conclude our demo on how to import GSPN tickets into CDA.